Hello, there's a serious problem in HackerRank called CPP exception handling. So the difficulty level of this problem is medium, and I actually do not know why, because exception handling is pretty much easy. But if you're new to it, or you might have seen this in Java or Python, it is pretty much like that. I'll explain to you all from the scratch, don't worry. So, okay, what are we supposed to do? We have this locked code and all. I'll just copy this code from here and paste it over and explain you all what are we supposed to do. Okay, fine. Okay, namespace and all we will simply jump to the main function. We're taking an integer n, we are passing it to this function called process input over here. So this function process input, it is again passing this integer d and n as the parameter or the argument to again one function which is defined over here. So what is happening over here? It is checking if n is 0. So basically what I'm supposed to do is this n whatever in that we are taking, scene that we are taking, we have to check if it has the, I think, largest divisor or something like that. Yeah, we have to check largest proper device. Okay, so first of all, n cannot be 0 or n cannot be 1. But what happens if the user enters n as 0 or 1? Then we should get an error, right? And the code will stop and we'll go get those red lines. We don't want that. So that's why we're going to use try and catch blocks. So what will happen? This one is passed here and this one is again passed here in this function. So basically what they are doing, they are checking if n is 0 or 1. If n is 0 and 1, they are passing some message. They are throwing some message. What they are doing is they are actually throwing an exception that you are getting an error. Don't do that. That's what they are doing. And after n is 0 or 1, after that we can find the proper divisor, largest proper divisor by using a for loop, and this all I hope you know the algorithm for that. So after that, what will happen is this d. So basically whenever we try to process these steps, we can get an error. That is, this function will throw an exception if n is 0 or 1. So to throw that, first of all we'll have to try to do something. If we cannot do that, we'll get an exception. So by that what I mean is I have to enclose these statements in a try block. That is, I am trying to do these statements, I am trying to execute these statements. So what will happen if I don't get an error in these two statements? Then the code will run perfectly fine. But if n is 0 or 1, then I'll get an exception. So that is, an exception will be thrown and I have to catch it, right? So if you throw something, you have to catch it. So in that way, they are throwing an exception from here and we are going to catch it right down over here in this function in which we call that other function. So we are going to catch an exception. So the argument is going to be invalid argument because we are passing an argument, right? So the exception type is going to be invalid argument, and let us call it e. So remember, e is just the name of variable. E can be anything, right? Okay. After that, in this block, what we are going to do is we'll basically say what we have. So basically, if exception is caught, we can do whatever we want to do. But in this problem, they want to pass the message. So if we write e dot what, and don't forget the semicolon, e dot what means the statement that is mentioned with this argument. So sometimes what happens, even if you don't write a statement over here, it is fine. But if you have passed this message, this is just a message, right? So e dot what means it will return this message, and we just have to print that message out. So don't forget to use cout for that. We just printed that message out for us. After that, if you guys know try catch blocks in Java, then you might know this statement called finally. That is, but this is not over here. But what I'm going to do is the task is that whatever happens, so basically even if we get an error, that is basically even if n is 0 or 1, or even if we can get the largest possible divisor, we have to execute one statement 100%. That is, whatever will happen, even if we get an exception, still we have to execute one statement. That's why the statement will come out of the try and catch blocks. So the statement will say, I got nothing to do with these try and catch blocks, I am going to be executed 100% whatever happens. So that statement is somewhere, okay, the statement is just this, returning control flow to the caller. So that is the statement, and semicolon. Returning control flow to the caller means it is just returning the control flow to the caller function, whatever it was, right? So I think that's all about it. I think it should be probably working. So why not just copy this? Okay, I just did something. Okay, I just have to copy this thing and paste it over here in this block and submit the code. Let's see what happens. Yes. Okay.